Everyone, Mark and Joey back here, and Joey, we just got finished with our Rewind show, and this is a future show. We don't always do this, but certainly in the NFL, Super Bowl's coming, playoffs are ready to go, and we're going to talk about our picks for the playoffs and talk about what can happen here. Who do we think? First of all, I have to redo all my picks because I had New England and Seattle. I'm not going to pick either one of them for the Super Bowl, but I forget who you picked.
I had the Chiefs and the Saints, I believe. So
you still have a good shot with yours.
Mine looks very good. The Chiefs have to play wild card. Not the Chiefs. The Saints have to play wild card weekend, but the Chiefs got the bye. So definitely on that side of the ball, I think they got the huge advantage there. And on NFC, I think someone's going to finally make it out of the wild card because I think these are such tough teams, and they have a record of 10-6 and be the last team in the NFC. I think you're due for an upset at some point. So I think you might see something like that happen. So Saints and Chiefs look good.
Well, I think that that's not going to happen, and the main reason is that there is a 9-year now, which will be by the time they play the Super Bowl, a 10-year wait where there has not been a team come out of the wild card weekend to win the Super Bowl. I don't think there's any difference here playing 3 weeks in a row against a team that gets a bye. I think the Super Bowl is all in the hands now of the Ravens and the Chiefs, who have got a week off. 49ers and Packers have a week off. I think your Super Bowl is coming out of those 4 teams without a doubt. You're going to see the Patriots. For me, Patriots lose this week. I think they've looked really horrible. For a team who was 9-0 or 9-0, it's unbelievable what's happened to them. They even lost at home now. Titans are really on the go. They came back from what was a bad loss the week before, although they could have won that game. Get the win this week, win their division, not win the division, but win the playoff spot and get to play the Patriots. I think Patriots I think Brady's got his head in next year. I think McDaniel's got his head in next year. I think the defense was a bit of a mirage early in the season. They're not playing that well. What would have been a home game would have been an automatic Patriots win. I think like Seattle, that win's not there anymore. These teams have proven they can lose at home this year.
Well, first of all, the last decade to go without a wildcard team making or winning the Super Bowl was 1990 to 1999. And then from 2000 to 2010, 4 teams went from the wild card to the Super Bowl. Now, this decade has had nobody. So this next decade, which will be when the playoffs start, is going to have teams from the wild card make Super Bowl. I am telling you.
Okay, so who do you think is coming from the wild card game? There's gonna be in the Super Bowl?
New Orleans.
Yeah, you got New Orleans, yeah. And you got them against the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, they get a vibe. I'm saying just one team.
Yeah, okay. So you got a team. I don't believe in it at all.
Here's why I'm rolling with New Orleans, okay? First of all, I think it will be tough. They're gonna have to go into Green Bay play. Yeah. That's gonna be a tough game. I'm not gonna lie to you there. That's gonna be very, very interesting. But I think Green Bay is false. I think they got a lot of proof come playoff time. I mean, they have not been a dominant believe it or not, a dominant 13-3 team. Yeah. It's hard to say that, but they've lived on the edge, and they've lived with the defense. I'm telling you what, Drew Brees right now, with the games missed, funny enough, I think he's primed for a playoff. I think he's healthy. He put up so many points. Michael Thomas is by far the best receiver in the NFL
right now. Yeah.
Kamara,
maybe over years.
Kamara was injured throughout the middle of the season there. That's why they went on a little bit of an iffy streak. He's healthy now. I am telling you, the Saints go into Green Bay and San Francisco in order to get themselves into the Super Bowl. So Saints and Chiefs. But anyways, I agree. Patriots lose. I'm with you there. Yeah. Flipping completely different conferences, but that's what he talked about. So let me go back there. Patriots lose to Tennessee. Bills in Houston. I'm going to roll with Houston.
Wow.
Because what are the odds 2 wildcard teams actually win both?
Yeah.
So
you're shocking.
You talk about what teams on the road not being able to really win a game. So do you really think both are going to win? I can't do that, so I'll go with Tennessee and Houston.
So
as much as I love my Bills, and I love my Bills.
The only reason I have a concern for you is some injuries on Houston with Fuller, Robbie, and Joseph all out. I think that's going to be tough.
They're not out. They're questionable, which means they're probably going to play.
Yeah.
They're not going to practice.
Yeah, they'll have something to get them on the field, but they're not going to be ready to go, not going to be that strong. So I almost can't believe I've got the Titans as well, and I can't believe I'm taking the Bills and you're not taking the Bills. I mean, you've been the Bill man the whole season.
Let me tell you what. Houston has been really, really good at home. They sat all their players this week, so they're all going to be they got their bye week by sitting literally their starters and their backups this week. That's an underrated thing. Very, very underrated, sitting your players and getting an extra week off. So I think you're going to see Houston come out and dominate. I think Deshaun Watson and the running style quarterback is going to be tough for Buffalo to handle. DeAndre Hopkins is up there with the best receivers. Probably I'd make him 2 or 3 compared to Thomas, who is a monster, but he's up there. I just think Buffalo's never seen a combo like Hopkins and Deshaun Watson, and I think the running quarterbacks, you look at Holmes, Lamar Jackson, and Watson, all in the playoffs, all winning their divisions. I think it's the new way of the quarterbacks. I think Josh Allen's in his first playoff game ever, and he is prone to many interceptions. He's been very good the back half of not doing that, but he is prone to it. So is the first playoff game going to bring that back out in him? I think it will, and I think they win.
I'm going with the old adage of defense wins championships, and they're not going to win the championship, but I think this defense is going to give Houston all they can muster here. I'm predicting a 10-3 game for Buffalo. I think the defense is going to shut Houston down, and that's what I'm going with. So we got that Titans and the Bills. Now we've gone to
in a dome, but I remember Bills survive. Bills have a great defense. I said this, and Bills were a playoff team. I said that too. But Bills would, if they were at home, that's huge. But in a dome where a team like Houston can function really, really well, he can run, he can throw really easy without any weather problems, without any wind problems. It's going to be tough for Buffalo.
I don't doubt it's going to be tough. I say I'm looking at something like a 10-3 game. I've seen Houston make mistakes on the offensive side. I've seen him make mistakes as a quarterback. I think Buffalo's going to be all over him, and we're going to see what happens there. Because you know what? The weather is not good for his weather is good for Houston. It's also good for the defense. So it works both ways, and that defense can I think is going to give them all kinds of trouble. Now, Joey, we'll go the other side. Although we kind of jumped ahead on who is going to be the Super Bowl, Vikings at New Orleans. I got the Vikings, and the reason I have the Vikings is Drew Brees is the biggest choke in the playoffs there's been. His career is what, 20 years now. He's won 1 Super Bowl.
Who is the quarterback on the other side? So talk about chokes.
One Super Bowl.
Kirk Cousins never won a playoff game. He's never won a Monday night game. He's never won a Thursday night game. He's never won a Sunday night game. And the best running back in the NFL is Dalvin Cook, and he's out. So
we're gonna see defense again. Hold New Orleans. I think that there are gonna be a number of interceptions. I have never liked the way Drew Brees goes in the playoffs. He's never been successful. One time, way young in his career, and you're going to see New Orleans go away here.
So he's never lost a playoff game at home besides the championship game last year, was due to an defensive pass interference that was never called. First of all,
whatever you want to call it,
Vikings defense is ranked 27th in the NFL. They gave up 30 points like they're like no tomorrow, and without Dalvin Cook, it's all going to rely on Kirk Cousins. Oh my God!
Hey, I have not been a Cousins fan, but I'm telling you, I have a feeling here the Vikings, just because I think that Drew Brees has not done his job in the playoffs.
He doesn't even have to do his job.
We're going to see what's going to happen there.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He's got a great defense. He's got Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. He doesn't even need to go out there. They could put Bridgewater in there to beat the Vikings.
Well, we'll see what happens. I think Bridgewater, I don't disagree with you, but they've got some injuries. Williams, Line, Bell, and Apple that are all out on New Orleans.
Questionable. So, they're all going to play.
Well, all questionable, yeah. But when you're questionable, means you're banged up. We'll see how good they can be.
Everyone's banged up.
We're going to see what's going to happen there. But I love the Vikings in this game. I think Drew Brees is not going to be very good, and he hasn't been spectacular.
Never lost at home.
In this end. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, neither had the Patriots. Now they've lost twice at home. So we're going to see.
No, in the playoffs they haven't yet.
Whatever. Playoffs, regular season, whatever. So who are you going with? You said Seattle already?
Yeah, Seattle.
Okay. I'm going to go with Seattle too. Although I can't believe it, but they're going to pull it out in some way. Eagles are just not that good a football team. If they had won and
injuries
had to play somebody else, I would have said Seattle's not going to win the first game. I think they will here against the banged up Eagles.
You talk about Minnesota. I think it's Seahawks won Sunday Night Football and played Minnesota and Seattle. They might have lost to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But the Eagles are just so bad, and they're so banged up. I mean, I know Carson Wentz. They're going to talk about, but they played the Redskins, the Giants, and the Cowboys. I'm sorry, they lost to the Dolphins, and they already lost to Seattle pretty easily in Philly already. So
this is a no-brainer. This is going to happen. So good on Seattle.
So again, by the way, the guy who debunks every wildcard team is picking 2 wildcard games on both sides to win on the road.
I debunk them winning the Super Bowl. I don't debunk them winning the first weekend.
You think all 4 teams on the road are going to win?
Well, you know what?
That's what you just said.
I'm going to bet it and make a fortune.
No, you're going to bet it.
I'm going to bet it and make a fortune.
Bankruptcy.
I'm going to get a parlay together here and make that a folks. We'll be back next week, and you'll be going, oh, my God, how smart was he? Okay, so we're going to see what happens there. Hey, listen, after this weekend happens, 49ers waiting, Packers waiting, Ravens waiting, Chiefs waiting. Joey, any wildcard team going to win the second game? No matter who wins in this first weekend.
I already said
Who do
the
you
Saints,
think?
I think, will upset Green Bay.
Do you think that?
Because I don't think Green Bay will be able to handle it. Now, again, I mean, unfortunately, the weather does matter. And the Saints, if it snows, but if it doesn't snow and it's just cold, I think he can handle it. I mean, something reasonable would be great. I mean, even 35 degrees, which is cold, but he can handle that. But if it does get down to the zeros or it snows, that's Aaron Rodgers territory. But I'm banking on decent weather.
I don't think Green Bay's ever lost under, I think they were saying 25 degrees or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
When they're under 25, they have never lost a game.
I'm going to bank on Kamara.
You got a dome team
and I'm going to bank on the defensive Saints to play pretty well. So that's going to be a tough game. But I'm going to ride the Saints only because I picked them ahead of time. I think they're that team of destiny, that team that got so robbed last year. They make a new rule just for them. I think they're going to go all the way. So I'm going to roll with them. But then I do think Seattle plays San Francisco. By the way, I hope it happens just because the games have been so exciting. I mean, they're stupid exciting. But if you're not a fan of either team, they're just exciting. And I think the NFL really wants to see the game happen. I will go with San Francisco. That sets up San Francisco and the Saints, which, by the way, last time they played was 48-45. So the NFL would love to see that in the NFL Conference Championship. And again, you talk about sports gods. It feels like it has to be them two in the NFC Championship game. I feel like it's meant to be. And I think you get a great game between the Saints and the 49ers in the conference finals in the NFC.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. And, you talked about...
Then obviously I go with the Saints.
You talked about some points in there. And they showed in the Super Bowl last year that two great offenses can go 10-3. So it doesn't always talk about points. Just because in the regular season it's 43, 40, whatever it is, you can go into these games. It's way tighter. The defenses play tighter. You get a whole week. In these cases, 2 weeks to get ready to go. And the guys get a bye. So it's a whole different experience going to that final. So now what are you thinking on the other side? So you really put in the Saints and the 49ers now in the championship game, conference finals.
Saints in the Super Bowl, obviously.
And you're going, so you think they can beat the 49ers. So you're obviously picking the 49ers over Seattle.
I am picking 49ers over Seattle, only because I think Seattle's played too many one-score games. No team has ever played this many one-score games and made the Super Bowl. I think the problem with Seattle is that, I think, funny enough, they'll be within one score again. It's
because they always come back after being behind. So.
You know what, man? I just think, while I do believe in Beast Mode Destiny, I don't think they'll use them right. After seeing this game, they didn't use them right. So I'm interested to see if they might change if they use them right. But you got to go with San Francisco at home, by the way. They just got too many weapons. They're better than Seattle. That's just facts. And Seattle's also getting banged up as we go here, too. And again, they're going to have to play in the cold of Philly. So San Francisco easily over Seattle. And then, like I said, 49ers, Saints, and then I picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl. So that's the lineup for me.
Stuck with that. Okay, that's good.
It'll be interesting.
So I'm going to be 49ers Packers in the final game. 49ers going to the Super Bowl. I'm not telling you who's going to win yet, but 49ers to go to the Super Bowl on this side.
I have the Saints here, the 49ers.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, somewhere in my heart, there's a tiny little violin playing for Rodgers, and I hope no, that's the wrong word. I hope he makes it. Sorry. There's a sweet spot for Rodgers in my heart, a little tiny one, because he's been through a lot, honestly, and he's one of those guys that needs a second Super Bowl to, in my mind, legitimize. So there's this tiny spot in my heart that hopes that Green Bay can get a Super Bowl by the time he's done, and maybe it's this year because he's talking about retirement in a couple of years. So maybe this is it with the new head coach. Maybe. I don't think so, but I just want to say there's a little soft spot.
I'm with you on this because you know why? Every announcer calls him the greatest quarterback to ever play at a game, and he has won Super Bowl, and the real best quarterback ever has 6.
Yeah.
If you can't get to 2, it's no different than dinner at the Manning household if Peyton didn't get the second one to tie Eli. It doesn't matter what you've done. This is a game that's built on winning, and you need 2.
Yeah.
There's lots of guys with 1, and lots of no-name guys with 1 who never did anything after that, weren't great going in. They had one great year. The team came together, and they got it. But you need 2. You need to prove that you're actually that quarterback. I'd love to see Rodgers do it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love to see him do that if the 49ers aren't going to get theirs. I don't love the 49ers. They're just analyzing and thinking that they're going to be the guys who get there.
Well, I'll tell you what, everything goes to San Francisco. I mean, that helps, obviously.
I'd love to see the Packers get in there. Okay, let's go to the other side. So we got Ravens and Chiefs sitting on division winners. Are either one of them going to lose in the week 2?
No.
Okay, so you're looking at the same as me.
Yeah.
Ravens, Chiefs move on.
Yeah.
And who's going to be your
I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Super Bowl
I said that already. I said, it's limited, but playoff experience for the Chiefs. Heartbreaker last year to New England, but honestly, I got to see Lamar in a playoff run here, and I got to see if Mark Ingram's going to be healthy because he's a big component.
Right.
Where I know Kansas City's healthy, they were the best football team, by the way, the last 8 games of the year. They were the best by far.
Once Mahomes got back from the injury and started ramping up.
Well, him plus Tyreek Hill, oh my God.
Is that the fast? Oh
he's the fastest guy I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going with Chiefs and Saints, as I said, but Chiefs to beat Baltimore. And I think that game will be, again, weather dependent, but guess what? Chiefs are cold. So they know the weather. And at the end of the day, Lamar has himself and his tight end, kind of, but when you put Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, I mean, my God. And by the way, another story of football is Andy Reid. Andy Reid needs a Super Bowl. I mean, my God, this guy has been to 1 Super Bowl with Philly, but he has talked about being the offensive guru of the NFL.
And hasn't won.
So, their defense has played well. The offense has played well. A little bit more experience than Baltimore, obviously. I'm going to go with Kansas City, and that gives me my Kansas City, New Orleans Super Bowl, which ironically, a lot of people would say that should have been Super Bowl last year with the call on LA, and then obviously the Kansas City losing to overtime in New England. So it's not a far stretch to believe this will happen. I think it's almost karma getting their dues. They deserve it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think that they went through some scandal a few years ago. They went through the hurricanes. It would be something that would be unbeliable for the city.
And for the Chiefs, I mean,
I don't think it's going to happen.
Alex Smith, and now you get Mahomes. And then you get Mahomes got hurt this year, and then you got Tyreek Hill, and then Kareem Hunt you had to release him.
Yeah.
Well, kind of question marks. The defense was bad, then the defense was good all of a sudden. The Chiefs look really strong at that point for sure.
Well, about midseason, and not at the beginning, but I did call them to win their division easily.
Both did, yeah.
But midseason, I called them to win the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody beats the Ravens. They have too many weapons. They got a number 1 weapon and a quarterback, which you cannot protect against the run. And this guy can run anytime he wants. You're talking about cold. I agree 100%. One thing you do in the cold is run the ball. He'll be doing that. It's going to be harder on Mahomes to throw the ball if they get a really cold day. And I just think Lamar has himself. He doesn't really need anybody else. I think he'll run the ball all day long. He can throw. He's got a good arm. I think he can do it where he needs to do it. And I think this is a young quarterback who's going to run right through the whole league and win the Super Bowl this year. I think that's going to happen. I'm not a magnificent Jimmy Garoppolo fan, although I have to give it to him. The last couple games have been great, but I don't put him at that level. And one thing, when you're under pressure, when you can just take the ball and run it, you make less mistakes. But when you throw the ball a lot and you're nervous and you're in your playoff game, I mean, Garoppolo's not been this ranked as the number 1 team, number 1 quarterback in his career before. I think you get nervous, you throw interceptions. I think when Lamar gets nervous, he puts the ball in his arms and he runs, and he can do that without making mistakes. And that's why I think Ravens move all the way through, play the 49ers, win the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be an amazing year here in Baltimore.
But you got to remember, though, first time in the playoffs, he is limited on weapons besides himself. So when does a great defensive coordinator get a couple weeks to prep for him and shut him down?
But what do you shut him down on? You don't know what he's going to do. He's improvising all the time.
But he has no, you actually talk about bad weather helping him. It would hurt him because then you can play man coverage because it'd be so hard to throw the ball. And then you stop him. And then what? He has no receivers. He has one receiver, 1 tight end, and Mark Ingram might not be playing. By the way, he's underrated on that team because he's very important. But you talk about Baltimore. The bad weather would hurt him more because he'd want to run more, but also the defense could easily play man coverage and they can stop him. I'm telling you, there's something. No quarterback has won in their first time in the Super Bowl, right? So he's up against a lot of odds here. I just don't think against Mahomes, who can run himself, can throw himself, has a receiver that's the fastest guy on the field, and a defense with a top defensive coordinator. You talk about all that together, it's going to be a tough test against Kansas City. Now, if he makes a Super Bowl, I think he beats anybody from the NFC. But I'm just talking about the Chiefs are their biggest opponent right now. And the fact Chiefs got a bye really hurt Baltimore than anybody else.
Yeah, well, Baltimore got the same bye. So either
No, but I'm saying if Chiefs had to play Wild Card Weekend, you talk about no one makes it from Wild Card Weekend. I'm telling you, I didn't think New England could ever beat Baltimore. You talk about Kansas City having to play an extra game. I don't know if they can beat Baltimore. But now the Kansas City Chiefs get a week off too. That was bad for Baltimore. The Chiefs are looking very, very good. And quickly on Garoppolo, does he not look like the most relaxed human being in the world? No kidding. I'll tell you one thing. I question his techniques.
Look where he lives.
But I tell you what, they talk about Montana being so cool. He's the coolest guy I've ever seen, Garoppolo. He's smiling.
But here's
he
the difference.
Care, so.
Montana was cool and won 4 Super Bowls.
He might do that.
Hasn't won a playoff game yet, so we're gonna.
He's never
been in the playoffs.
He's never played a season.
So,
he's never been.
You know, we're gonna see. You want to talk about first guys in the Super Bowl? You're talking about Lamar. No different on the other side. So
that's why Garoppolo won't make it. That's why
two of them make it, right? So we'll see what happens there. But there's our playoff picks, guys. And we're going to come back as part of our rewind show next Monday.
I'll be right.
And we'll see what happens in the wild card weekend. We both got our picks. I've got Baltimore. You've got New Orleans. I have to say, a soft spot for New Orleans wouldn't bother me at all.
Well, I don't think New Orleans is going to win.
Sorry, the 49ers you picked for the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't. I picked the
oh my God.
Let's get
my glasses on here.
I picked the Saints and Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but I'm picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Sorry, I thought you were picking New Orleans. Anyway, I will go back and I've circled that now for you, so I don't make that mistake again. But a great story there. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the Packers also possibly win. But as we take a look at what's really going to happen, that won't happen.
I'll tell you what, it's a great NFL. You either get the young quarterback, get a new one, an old quarterback, get a new one. Or the historic franchise, the 49ers.
Or the first time guys.
It would be very impressive, too.
49ers, Baltimore would be first time guys in the Super Bowl. One of them would have to win. So there you go. That's our look at the playoff picture coming up. We'll be back next Monday to review the games that happen and how does that change our picks possibly. We'll see what happens there and have a great weekend. We'll look forward to next Sunday. Oh, next Saturday and Sunday. By the way, if you haven't looked at the schedule, it's 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday, a whole weekend. Got to kick the family out and it's all about football. Good thing for you. Your mother's so into football.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it because they're coming down. Mother and daughter coming down to see us for 2 weeks here, which will be lots of fun. And Joey is the luckiest guy in the world because his mom loves football. And we'll be able to watch all 4 games on the weekend. So there you go. We'll look forward to chatting next Monday.